Hey yo, what is up guys? I'm going to be doing a Smackdown review tonight. So, as everyone knows, this is going to be Daniel Bryan's, possibly his last match on Smackdown, or some people even speculate WWE, and he wants to go travel worldwide, essentially, and have matches all over the world and stuff. Or maybe just goes to Raw or NXT, or he could even win the Universal Championship, which I personally would like to see. Because of all the speculation of him just automatically losing, I think it'd be cool that he would win. But either way, I am going to be watching tonight's show because this is a big deal. It's kind of funny how like when WWE they want to make things a big deal, it becomes a big deal. Even if the fans like don't even like they kind of mock it, but like everyone's going to watch because they just act like it's a big deal. Sort of like how when they did the greatest match ever with Randy Orton and Edge last year, everyone's like, it's not going to be the greatest match ever. But just the fact that they called it that and how this is going to be the great, people all watched it. So it's actually quite kind of a good idea and good marketing techniques by them. So I got to give them their props there. So let's get into it. Well, no, we'll get into it. I haven't watched it yet. I want to talk about Monday Night Raw because I did watch Raw this week. So I would say like it's decent. It has like good star power and like it goes in the right. It has like the right ideas. But the issue is it just didn't. It lacks star power in my opinion, which is where I think Daniel Bryan would help the show. The show really centers around like guys like Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman. AJ Styles wasn't on the show, which I found to be kind of disappointing. The Fiend wasn't on the show, which like they kind of really needed him to be there. And I can't remember who else was missing. I just remember like thinking, I'm like, wow, they really could have used that person on Raw. But yeah, other than that, I really did like the Randy Orton and Matt Riddle kind of segment, and I would like to see where that goes as a tag team. I think that'd be really interesting, and I would like to see more of them. But yeah, I would like to see a few more developmental guys go up to Raw and kind of like help spread things out a bit, because the show does need it, or they do need a little bit more star power, I would say. So I'm going to watch the show, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to let you guys know what I think. Alright, so you got to forgive me. I did just get back from the gym. I went to the gym after I watched the Smackdown show, and now I'm ready to do my review. I had to think about it. I had to work out after this show. I had to get my thoughts. You know how it is. So here it is. Let's get into it. Show opens with Shayna Bazler, Bianca Belair, and Bianca Belair. I have to say, I do agree. Like, she didn't really come off as the biggest star in NXT. Not saying she didn't. She definitely had her fans and everything like that. But I can totally see why she emerged as a star on the main roster, same as Angel Garza. She has a great look, and she's a really good talker, and she also has a lot of colorful ring attires, which is great for marketing, and that's awesome. And I can totally see why they'd run with her as a world champion. And so then after that we had a six-man mixed tag, six-person mixed, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean, six-person mixed tag match. 6 people, whatever the fuck. And I have to say it was a decent match. It wasn't like anything special. It was a solid undercard match, nothing like worth going back to. It was entertaining for what it was. So I bitched about this with AEW doing this, and I'm going to bitch about it now with WWE doing this. It was the opening match of the night, and Montez Ford does a fucking flying dive out of the ring in the opening match. Like, can you just do any other move to get yourself over? Like, dude's a great athlete, but like, I don't really like him as a wrestler. He's not a very good pro wrestler to me, but he is an amazing athlete. There's no denying that. So after that, we had Natalya and Tamina just totally shit all over Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. They beat the shit out of him in the back, and then they beat him in the ring. Woo woo. So then, following that, what the fuck do we have following that? What the fuck do we have following that? 1 second. Look. Man, there's only 4 matches on this show. There's only 4 matches on the show? What the fuck? Okay, so Intercontinental title match. This is the second most built match of the show. I was pretty excited for it coming in. I don't know why, because I'm not even a big Apollo Crews fan. The dude is just bland as bland gets. The dude's boring. Okay, here's the issue. He's a villain wrestler. He's playing a villain. He's playing a bad guy. And he doesn't do any moves or anything in the match that makes him look like a bad guy. He's still doing flips and dives and frog splashes and all these athletic moves, and he never once does anything to like make you want to boo him or hate him. But at the same time, he's playing the villain. So like, what the fuck? Whatever. Anyways, match itself, it was like kind of like whatever. I didn't really like they kind of rushed through some things. It wasn't very, I don't know. Apollo Crews hits like a frog. No, first he like hits like a brain buster on the apron, and then he hits like a frog splash, and then Big E just gets up and he like it hits the big ending on him, and then he gets pulled out of the ring, and it's like, what the fuck? Like if he just got up after that, just like the moves just seemed like they didn't even matter. It just, the match just kind of came off as whatever. It's like Big E, I kind of just wish just squashed him and won the belt back, but I get the feeling he's going to be going up to main event status pretty quick here. So, as I said in my WrestleMania review. All right, so I'd like to point out this is one of the things I really liked about the show, and I thought was really cool that they added this in. They had a bunch of legends and current stars talking about who's going to win tonight's main event and who's going to win the belt, and it just came off like a big deal with having like Booker T and Seth Rollins and Cesaro, them all talk about it, and who's going to win, and that, and they all had their predictions, and that I really liked. And then before the main event, we had Paul Heyman cut this awesome promo on Daniel Bryan, which I thought was awesome, and then Daniel Bryan came out. And this show only had 4 matches, and I was like really surprised about that. I was like, 4-match show? What the fuck? Anyways, yeah, Daniel Bryan's ring attire for this was really sick. And Roman Reigns, I guess he got a new theme song, and that's really cool. I really liked it. Whatever it was, it definitely suits him. And I'm happy they finally dropped the Shield music. I just felt like it's long overdue at this point. I felt like he should have had. Man, imagine if he had that song back when he like first went like solo. Anyways, he actually looked like the star like we've been waiting for all this time. He finally looks like he just belongs in the main event. He earned that spot. It just seems like no one else can just take that from him at this point. And I guess it worked over those 5 years, but I have to say, like, I'm a fan of Roman Reigns. I really liked his 2016 title run. I will say that, like when he feuded with AJ Styles all the way up to Seth Rollins in the summer there. I was becoming a fan of his at that point. But with the flops in the main events of WrestleMania and stuff like that. Anyways, but yes, this is the Roman Reigns I've been waiting for. Anyways. The match itself was friggin' awesome. I'm gonna edit that part out. Hopefully I'm gonna edit that part out. No one saw that. No one saw me spreading the virus around. No one saw that. We good. Anyways, the match. The match was dope. The match was sick. This is easily the last like 30 minutes of the show are like worth going out and watching. No denying that. That was a really good last 30 minutes of the show. The match was really physical. They had awesome transitions. Daniel Bryan was like rolling around the way he was like twisting Roman's arm, and Roman just came off super physical here, and it came off like just an absolute fight, which I love, and it just showed that these two are like main event status pro wrestlers, and no one else belongs to their spot but those guys, and it just showed it here, and yeah, that's it. Like, they had like some awesome transitions, came off like a fight, and there was nothing goofy or stupid about it, and both guys were superstars in it, and it was awesome, and I loved it, and I really liked the match, and it was a great send-off for Daniel Bryan on Smackdown. It's going to be a memorable match because that's what the show is kind of built around, and this proves what a superstar Daniel Bryan is. And the match drawed. It had everything pretty much going for it for like a really good main event. So I have to give that a huge thumbs up. So let's get into my least favorite part, and then my overall opinions on the show. So my least favorite part of the evening was the Intercontinental title match, because I really felt like that match needed to deliver in order to make the show just a little bit more special that it needed, like for that rewatch value, to like go back and like, oh, if it was on the network, and oh, they had these really good matches on it. But no, it didn't live up to the hype that it needed to be. So let's get to my favorite part of the evening, which was obviously the main event was sick, and the ending to the match was also sick, with Cesaro coming out and then being tied in the ropes and made to watch Daniel Bryan get concertoed, which totally looked devastating and painful. But yeah, so overall thoughts on the show. Like I said, outside the main event, nothing's worth going back and rewatching outside of the Daniel Bryan from Reigns match, which was dope. Just watch that match. If you're a fan of wrestling, go watch that match. Alright, so, speaking of, I don't know when my next vlog is going to be. I'm working on it. It's going to be out. I promise that. But I am also going to be reviewing next week's Smackdown show because we're doing a retro show, and that really interests me to see what they do. So I'm going to be checking that out. So anyways, like the video, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of tonight's show, and peace.